Hey everyone, how's it going? Phil Monteleone, the book peddler, coming to you with another YouTube video. This video is going to be the best books to buy for resale. Now that's what I titled it, and of course it varies from experience to experience with what sellers are having a lot of success with. And so this video is just personally on my experiences, and for the video I've compiled a short list of authors and titles that I've had great success with selling online, particularly. If you're a reseller on any platform, I believe you'll find value in this video. At least I hope you do. So these titles basically came directly off the top of my head. I was actually kind of walking around my shop and just refamiliarizing myself with some of the genres, and just the authors' names were clicking, the ones that I constantly see and that I move. There's some that I don't have present in the shop because I sell them so rapidly, but I do have some examples of some of the ones here on the table that I'll definitely show you. And but before I get started, I'd like to thank YouTube subscriber Pick Like a Pro. He's the one who suggested I do a video like this, and I appreciate the support and the suggestion. If anybody else has suggestions and they want to see a particular type of video, I'll do my best to try to make it. I have some off on the back burner that I really would like to have an editor to do them for, but maybe I'll just do it raw like I'm doing now. So if you haven't, though, I hope you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Book Peddler. You can stay up to date on book picks, in-store, out-store activities, and I have playlists with like material stuff. Like this will be on my book selling experiences and business aspect, and that's where you'll find it. And I have other similar videos. So yeah, and if you could, there's a notification bell, so when you hit it, you'll be notified when a new video comes to be. And I appreciate everybody's support out there. This one's specifically for the resellers, but hey, maybe you get enjoyment if even if you're not. But so anyways, make sure you got that inkwell full, and I would jot down some of the authors and titles I'm about to show you, and you can do searches on the ones that I don't have available to show, so that you can familiarize yourself with the author, how the book looks and presents itself. And I want to take a quick moment before I show these to lay the groundwork out. I'm going to cover a handful of particular genres and authors that I can't keep on the shelves. The books I'm going to avoid, however, are the classics. Guys like Tolstoy, Dickens, Twain, Orwell, Huxley. These are gimmies. These are constant sells. But the reason why I'm avoiding them is because they're so mass produced. And publications and authors of similar ilk, of course it's worth picking them up, and I pick them up constantly to keep on the shelves because they sell rapidly in the store. And I have a shop, so I always recommend you keep your shelf stocked with those type of guys. But since they're so mass produced, the value generally is not very high. So sure, I can buy one of those books for probably $1, but if I'm only selling it for $4 or $5 or $6, I'm not really going to waste my time. I'll buy it just to put on the shelf, unless if it's a particular special edition, first edition. That's not for those books. But I will link up a description below in the big description thing about the top 100 selling books from 2000 and onward, put out by ABE Books. And a very reputable selling site that a lot of dealers utilize. It's excellent. I don't utilize it, but I know it's a solid site. I bought books off there before and have had nice buying success. But again, these books that I want to show you is basically the ones that I consistently come across and am able to generate a decent amount of cash flow through them, and I consistently come to them from library sales, estate sales, book picks I get called on, and I'm able to pick them up for cheap and make a really good and extremely fast turnover. So I mean, the thing is that even if um, uh, one thing first, the buy price is extremely important. So if you haven't started selling online, and those of you who are, you know what your selling fees are, so you got to buy these right. Okay, you can't get too crazy invested in them. It's not worth that. um Half the books that I will show you, they do not have barcodes on them, um or associated with them the majority of the time. So even if you scan books on Amazon, I think that this will give you an advantage among other people that are doing the same thing. So that when you see the titles on the spine at your library sale, for instance, you recognize it for what it is, can confidently pick it out without hesitancy, and know you're going to get a nice return on it. You're not going to have to manually look up a title because it doesn't have a barcode. So it's familiarizing yourself with this. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys that scan, I ain't in that line of work. I semi was for a period of time. Don't have to scan every title. You'll see it, you recognize it as a quick seller, and you pull it off. The same is going to be for these books as well. I will follow scanners sometimes at a library sale. Inevitably, sometimes I'm just next to them and moving along with them, and they're missing these books that they could be making money off of. But because they have a barcode and they didn't recognize it as being valuable, they glossed over it, and so then I get the reward of it. But anyhow, I think it's about time to get started, and I have my list of books here. Okay, these are one other thing. The ones that I find always are going to have some type of allure and sell fairly well are going to be those that are real niche too. Like, I don't know, if cats with wigs or something like that. Weird off the wall stuff. Books on torture. If it's homesteading, it's raising a rare type of animal. Things like this that aren't very readily available, but they have a niche to it, they generally sell fairly well for me. That's just my experience. So anyhow, let's get started. These names I'm about to show you and talk about constantly and consistently sell. Start with the Civil War. Bruce Catton, Catton. He did a 3-volume set, The Army of the Potomac. Whether that's in book club edition or whatever, buy it if it's in decent condition. I've always been able to sell that quickly for $25 or better. So if you can get him $1 a book, that returns pretty good. This is one of his titles, Grant Takes Command. Not one I have listed. It's the Army of the Potomac series that sells. Another one in Civil War is Shelby Foote, Foote, 3-volume set. Look up that. That sells very quickly as well. Okay, Homesteading. I've mentioned this book a number of times. I've shown it in a number of picks. Foxfire. Individually, I mean, this one's, I have it present in my hands because I didn't list it yet. I listed one yesterday, a volume 8, and sold it that day. $10 all day for each individual book. Now, the full set, this is the early publication set. They also came in hardcover, and there are later editions with barcodes that do sell for a bit more. This set complete, I've sold anywhere from $80 to $200. Of course, condition pending and whatnot, but you can generally, I find these books everywhere and buy them without hesitancy. So write that one down, the Foxfire series. You want to buy these. I don't have one to show, but in the Christian section, which is actually one of my recently most heaviest selling section, is by C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. That book in hardcover sells from $15 to $25, and I sell it usually the day I put it up. It goes incredibly fast. Another one, Into the Wild by John Crowquire. I'd have one, but the most recent one I got up, I sold within days. It's not the soft cover ones that pulled the 15 to $25. It's the hardcover publication one. Okay, it's got the bus on the front without him in the picture. So write that down. Into the Wild hardcover. Okay, that generally should have a barcode. Cooking books. Here's ones that won't, just like the Foxfire and the Bruce Catton. I should have said those won't have the barcodes. Cooking books. Julia Childs, specifically Mastering the Art of French Cooking. This book, no matter if it's a first edition or later edition, sells very quickly. The prices range fairly dramatically, and that's based on edition and its condition. But Julia Childs, Betty Crocker, she can scratch as far as I'm concerned. Betty Crocker, there's so many of those publications, unless if, from my experience, just personally speaking, unless if it's the first edition orange cover one, I stay away, because even the oddball screwy ones like Bacon with Children and stuff, it's just not generating a ton of return or a ton of interest. And this is my personal experiences. Again, remember, business books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Extremely fast seller. That is obviously going to be on the list of 100. It's not that the money of it is big, but I've generally been able to find Kiyosaki books with a number of his other titles. So look him up. And what I do is I bulk them together in 4 or 5 titles and sell them very quickly. So look for him. Eric Sloan books. This is a guy. Oh, I have one over there. Shoot. Eric Sloan hardcover books move very fast for me. I have a soft cover here. These ones aren't worth a lot of money, okay? But just to show you, Eric Sloan, Sloane. Most all his books don't have barcodes. I'm very tempted to get up and get that book, but I'm not going to do it. But his hardcover books, I can't keep them on the shelves. These in the shop move very quickly. I always have a lot of people looking for him. This is a personal copy of mine, A Reverence for Wood. Not worth a lot, but he was a great artist, and Americana all the way. A lot of titles out there. None of his stuff, from what I've seen, has barcodes. So if you see Eric Sloan on the spine, scoop him up. Please do. You're doing yourself a favor. Okay. I hope I'm not exhausting this video. I'm talking a lot, but I hope you're getting value out of this, guys. I hope you do. If you do, I hope you like the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm doing okay, okay? So, Time Life sets. Come across tons of these. The majority, leave them where they sit. There's exceptions, though. The Enchanted World set series. It's like a fantasy series, different colored boards on the books. A really pretty set, well done set. That's the best one from what I can tell. I've sold that upwards to $400. I've never gotten less than $200 for it, and that's condition pending. If you find those individually, why not scoop them up, sell them individually for $10-15? The Enchanted Life or Enchanted World set is the best out of there. Pick them up, look into that. The other ones that I will say, don't get the sailing one. I've never had luck with that. Don't get the building stuff. That's all low end. But Civil War is always going to be a popular subject matter. If you have the set complete, and it's clean, $100 to $150. You can pick up this set sometimes for $50, $25. Make sure that, though, another one I'll just show you is the Old West series. Beautiful, clean copy. There's like 26 volumes in both of these sets. The very most important thing is having the index with it. The index alone is probably $30. Though I've had very much success selling this particular set for no less than $100, moving it fairly fast. And again, these are books that I see constantly at library sales and estate sales. So I buy them if they're cheap. I don't have trouble moving them. What else? Will and Ariel Durant, they wrote a series called The Story of Civilization. Here's one particular title. They've come in many different presentations. This is one in particular. Sometimes you'll see a lot of them with just the red boards. There are other ones with different colored jackets, red boards with the insignia of whoever they're talking about. Like this one's Napoleon. Napoleon would be on the cover. I sell this set $80, $150, $200. The first editions are blue boards, and those will fetch more. Even if they're individual copies, buy these books. They sell very fast. As a set, they sell even faster. And generally, you can find them cheap. You can't scan these books, okay? So, Will Durant, okay? Will and Ariel Durant. Great set. Always have had success with it. Moves quick. Don't even have one in the shop to show you. So, let's see here. In the psychology section, Carl Jung far surpasses Freud for me in sales. Just personal experience. Carl Jung. Philosophy, it's Bertrand Russell and Hegel. And Greek philosophers, but again, there's so much mass publication of like Plato, Aristotle. So get the good, big, clean ones. I think like Random House makes some really nice ones. Those are the ones you're going to have more success with. But art, Egon Schiele. Of course, if you see Picasso, Dali, pick him up, right? But this guy, never really knew who he was, Schiele. But I'll tell you what I do recognize is that these sell at a fairly rapid pace. I believe this is the only one I have online right now that I put up a couple weeks ago, and I expect it to sell shortly. So I'm not overall familiar with the guy, but as I'm walking through my shelves, I go, this guy's just, you can't keep him on the shelf generally. Who else do I have here? In the anthropology section, The Golden Bough, Bough, by James Frazier, Frazier. Frazier is the authority of, I should say, he's one of the authorities on the subject when it comes to cross-cultural studies in religion, sexual practices, different rites through ancient civilization. And it's a cross-cultural study of these guys. And a lot of people use Frazier as reference material for their different ideologies today, or like René Girard was a famous French scholar classicist who utilized his material. I can't keep Frazier on the shelves, and the later books that are published have the barcodes. The earlier ones do not. So write down The Golden Bough. That is one to absolutely scoop up. When it comes to fairy tales, Hans Christian Andersen, Grimm's Fairy Tales. Again, I didn't know if I should say these because they're like the Dickens and the common ones. There's a lot of mass publications, but I've been finding a lot of earlier material by them, and it moves fairly rapidly. The other guy, C.S. Lewis or J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien all the way. I can't keep him on the shelves if I tried. As soon as I buy it, it moves. I mean, most of you may know that. If you don't, excuse me, buy the Lord of the Rings sets, buy whatever. They sell like hotcakes. So, and one other field of health, gardening, any herbal books. Some have more value than others. But anything on herbs, Chinese herbs, things of that nature, mushrooms is a big one. That stuff is in high demand. In my shop, it's in high demand, and online, it's in high demand. So, basically, that's the material, and these are the titles and authors that I wanted to let you in on. From my personal experience, these move extremely fast. They're kind of a little bit under the radar in a sense, but whenever I see these, and I see them frequently, I scoop them up because they move. My best sellers at the moment in terms of genre is homesteading firearm books, which has always been pretty strong for me. But it's like anything. If you follow the trends of the market and what's going on in the world, it kind of makes sense that people at this day and age right now, and particularly with this I guess they call it a pandemic, whatever, is homesteading, pioneering stuff. People are becoming more self-sufficient, or at least attempting to, and getting more familiar with firearms and stuff. So maybe you hone in a little bit more on that market. Also, nonfiction and my Christian section has been doing very well. Philosophy's been pretty strong. And my New York State history books also has been well. So, okay, I hope you find value in this video. I did the best I could. If you have any questions, please write them in the thing down below. Like and subscribe, say all this and that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate all your support. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.